All right, so we have a basic, some basic leg movement here where a character is walking across the surface. And this is transferable to both games and films because now in animation and games, now we do this thing called root motion where we move across the surface. And it makes the animation look a lot more natural. So the skills that you're learning here are, they work across both industries. So let's go ahead and let's set up our, let's get this down here. Go ahead and click on this little guy here, which is our data panel. And we're going to go ahead and turn off layer 1 for a moment. And we're just going to turn on layer 2. And what we're going to do in this video is we're just going to do just animate the arms, pretty basic. So he's got this kind of weird, like apish walk where the hands are turned in like that. We don't want to do that. All we want to do is find a nice balance from where the hands go on the side. So I'm going to grab my shoulder here. And you can see that you have these values to rotate the arm, bring it in and out. Oops, sorry, that's a scale, but rotate forward and back. You want to kind of just make sure that you're staying on one value. So if I'm going to go, let's see. Let's say we go down to, I like minus 15 for this. And I like minus 55. Yeah, so minus 15 and 55. So I'm going to select that shoulder here and this side. And I'm going to hit I just to key those two. And then I'm going to go to the other side and do the same thing. Oops. Wrong values. Let's see. What was this at? Minus 15 on X. Or Z rather. Oh, this is the other side of the body. So this will be positive and this side is negative. Remember, we're on a Cartesian graph. So let's key that and then 55. So I'll key that. Notice this is minus 55. This is 55. It's just because of the sides that they're on. Now what I want to do with this arm is I want to figure out, I'm going to grab that shoulder here, down here. And I think they put it so low because it was blocking this. So I think that's smart on their part, is we want to find out how far back. So I'm going to just stick with 15 here because it helps me remember. And then that means this arm would be minus 15. And then let's just test out 15 for the elbow here. Or minus 15. I think that's subtle enough. And then this would also be 15 because minus 15. Now that might be too subtle. I mean, he's got it very exaggerated here. And so maybe we'll crank this up to, we'll try 30. So that's like double 15. Let's see how that looks from the side view. Yeah, I like that. So I'm going to hit I on this to key that. And then if you click this again, the X, you can get to the other side. We'll change this to minus 30. I don't know. That seems very exaggerated. It's probably partially because it's so open. Let's do minus 20 on that. And then let's do minus 20 on this guy too, or 20 on this guy. Because part of it too is, so let's key these two. And so we got 20, 20, and then 20, 55. So let's do the same thing. So let's go over to, let's select this, and then both elbows. And then our shoulders here. Let's go all the way down to 25 and hit I to key that. And let's go to the halfway mark, which is 13. And let's select this guy here. And then just flip those values. So this would be minus 20 here. And we want to leave this alone because that's what's holding it to our side. So I'm going to key that. And let's grab this guy here, make this positive 20, and hit I to key that. So now we have arm movement. Again, very robotic walk. We haven't done anything cool yet. And we'll get into polishing later. Okay, so here we are on 1. What I'd like to do is, as this character, as that arm moves forward, so does the upper torso starts to rotate. And let me see if I have that image on here. I don't. I have it on the other one. But what happens is that shoulder starts to come forward. Let's see if this guy will just turn the shoulders. No, it's this right here. This will start to turn. So let's try to find a value that is not really destructive. So this would be, we'll go with maybe minus 10. And I'll hit I to key that. And then let's go all the way to 25. Let's hit I to key that again. Let's go to 13. And let's just flip that value to positive 10. And then let's key that. And now you're seeing it like it gets a little bit more natural. And I don't know if I like that. Let's see. Yeah, we've really got to clean this up in the graph editor. It's the roboticness. And we'll get there in the tuning video. And then same thing here. Remember, we keyed this on this. We want to, so here's 1. We want to do a couple things with the head here. We want to make sure that we're having it sort of follow. And what's nice is the eyes can help us with that. Is on 1. It's here. We're going to hit I to set a key. And on 7 here, let's bring this back to 0. We don't have to get too crazy with the, just I'm using the eye as a way of focusing on where we want the head movement to be. And we're not really cycling, so it doesn't, we can get kind of, we don't have to worry about 1 and 25 being exactly the same. And what we'll do eventually is once we have like those values, like we're doing 10 and 10, you know, like we're duplicating those values across the center point of the model, then you can go in and you can go nuts and you can start playing with those values. They don't have to stay perfect. Like look at her eyes bobbling. We got to fix, we'll get all that stuff. Like notice these are all getting kind of jacked up. These, so we can just kind of scale them. I'm hitting S to scale and then Y and just kind of flatten them out. And that'll help the eyes not bobble so much if we flatten those out. This is all, the rotation of the eyes based on all of these. The rotation in the position, see that? So we'll have to go back in and just clean this whole thing out and flatten this out so it doesn't look weird. All right, so let's take a look. And what I like to do is sometimes I'll just turn these off and just look at how the model moves. And if you remember from the walk cycle video, in place, we have to tweak the feet, we have to tweak the shoulders. Same thing here, like as we go in here, these arms need to be like, we really do need a bit of rotation on this arm. Like to kind of like rotate it in a little bit. And I like that minus 15 there, so I'll key that. Let's do 15 on this too. I'll key that. So that's looking pretty good. Same thing with the wrists. Like we can start to just kind of give them a little bit of a turn in. And it's better sometimes for me to just kind of play with these values here. So let's do minus 10. And then this would be 10. Keying each one of those. And then let's Let's see if we get those finger controls working. I think it's 6. Yeah, it's 6. Okay. So I'll just highlight, like I'm going to click off of here. If you hit B, that gives you your marquee tool. And then I'm going to just go in here and be like boy. There we go. I don't know why the values aren't updating here. I guess they didn't have them in there. So just something like that. I'll hit I to key that, giving myself just a soft rotation in the fingers. Let's do a local. There we go. Oh, why is it tweaking like that? There we go. Nice subtlety there. And I'll just key that. So now you see like we've got a little bit more of a natural walk. The hands feel more natural. Now what happens is with fingers is, and this is going to be more about the polish phase, but here, when you start to get to that passing pose, because we're transferring the weight, the body goes into this little bit of a shock and the fingers will extend out just in anticipation that we might fall. So there's a lot of psychology in the way these the character moves, like your animation, because you're trying to get as close to human as possible. And make sure that when you change it from global, I'm sorry, I should have explained that, to local, it goes according to the local axis of these controllers. So let's hit I to key that. And so now you can see the hand flexes out a little bit and it feels more natural as our character's passing. So what we can do here is I can go ahead and just copy these, hitting B again. On 1, I can just select that top summary key and hit Control C, go to frame 13, paste it. No data. Copy. Paste. So you can see it flexes and then it closes as we're about to hit that. Oh, it should be on 13 actually. So we're going to paste it here. So the hand expands and flexes. So there's a lot of subtlety, a lot of subtle nuances that we can do. Let's do the same thing here as we animate our character. So same thing, we should have the thumb flex too, but we'll get to that later. All right, so here's this. Copy. For some reason, my Control C isn't working. I don't know why. It's computer stuff. So I'm just going to right click and just paste it. There we go. Looking pretty good. And that's pretty cool. I mean, anything that's not like a direct forward movement, we could just kind of go in and just Control C or copy. And then I know on 25, I need this to be the same. Paste. Go to 13. Highlight these fingers. Paste, and then go to frame 7. And I could really just save time by just highlighting both. So I'm selecting that and I'm holding Shift. And if you hit Shift space and you go to selection box, that'll let you be on that tool. See that? So I select these. These are bright orange. I'm going to hold Shift, grab these. And then on 7, copy all of these. And then I think it's 19. I want to paste them. So all those like subtle little cool things like that are in your model add so much personality. Okay, I know that's a lot for this week. It's just getting a character to move across the surface with the arms. So what we'll do next week is we'll start to think about the polish.